Morant once again reminding us it's Ja's world, and we're just living in it.
Oof, spitting facts.
Look, have you been on Twitter at any point in these playoffs? How much shit talking have you seen against Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies? It is wild, because just a year ago, these guys were like the Cinderella story that everybody loved, right?
Hey, I mean, shit. 6 months ago, we were getting ripped a new one for like the Ja thing.
And then, that's right. And then now they're somehow the villains. They got too much confidence in themselves, or they just have confidence in themselves, and people hate when people have confidence in themselves.
Apparently. sounds like a therapy type of issue.
Yeah. And what I love about it is that players like Ja have this ability to use that chip on their shoulder. I call it the Michael Jordan technique.
Damn, like
and
that, huh? Shit.
They just embrace it and use it as more fuel. And we've seen some examples in this series when Ja quote retweeted a clip of Cat talking about it's our home now, some shit like that. I'm paraphrasing.
We're in Minnesota now.
Yeah, and then Ja just quotes retweeted with that same quote with a smiley face, and I was like, damn, Ja, you motherfucker, man.
Cold
I love
mother.
it. And then I even tweeted on the BTD account this. And one thing I really, really love about Ja, besides his style of play, his mentality, his Mamba effort on court and off the court, it's his personality, that old school personality. Like, again, chip on the shoulder technique. Like, being brash, not being too PR friendly. Like, he's a nice guy, but he's not gonna sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I love it. Love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And this game, oh man,
there's not a game that I'll say I'm gonna blame Cat, because Cat played well. Anthony Edwards.
Can't even blame Minnesota too much.
I'm like,
because they played down to the wire.
It was to the wire, and it looked for a good while in the fourth quarter that Minnesota was gonna steal this game at Ja's house.
If they did, that shit would have been crazy.
If this thing did, man, I'm like, bro. But like, we saw it not once but twice in the reaction video that we were doing. Ja, he made a fucking three, like dagger, to like, tie the game up. And then literally like a minute later, we're just like doing the reaction, and then does like the freaking layup. I'm like, what? You cannot believe like this shit's happening.
Go check out our Miami Heat Game 5 reaction. Like,
literally in the mid reaction, that shit was going on.
Literal reactions to this game playing in front of us while we were talking about our thoughts on the Game 5 reaction, and our thoughts on the Hawks and the Heat moving forward after that first round series.
I would say,
and I'm definitely gonna have a lot of thoughts about Minnesota and Memphis when this series ends moving forward. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say?
No, I would say the same thing about the Suns, Pelicans, but this game's.
Oh yeah, and it's in the first quarter, unless someone does some crazy play. But yeah that clutchness, that clutch factor is what I keep like, guys. Like, I understand Ja's not the most efficient at the moment. I really truly believe he's gonna improve on that.
But it's not all about you.
He's not the biggest size, so we'll see. He's got a lot of driving games, so longevity, there's a lot of skepticism. But he has the intangibles that I swear to you, you don't find anywhere. Shaq says it best, and Shaq will said it after me. He's like, you got that if factor. And I'm like, yo, 5-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal saying what I've been trying to... Wow, you're right, 4-time. What I've been trying to tell you. Like, he's got that it factor. Not just like the fucking... pretty face that's commercialized. That he's got the pizzazz, he's got the swag, he's got the drip, he's got all of that. But he's got the game that fucking lights up fire, and he's got a mentality. He's got that Mamba mentality. He's gonna be watched. And this game was the prime example. This is gonna be one of those career games you'll see in his career highlights. When he retires and he makes it to the Hall of Fame. That like, yeah, it'll be here, cause that clutch three, and then that game-winning layup, and it's just like how he just maneuvers. Like, it's just like, bro, you don't see that anywhere often.
Ja's gonna be what Derrick Rose should have been if he didn't get injured. I
truly think so, and I think he will be better than Derrick Rose, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I picked D Rose career or like peak year over Ja's. Like, no. Ja's going to be a more consistent mid-range and outside range shooter.
All right, but you know what time it is? Let's break this down. BTD stats time.
All right, let's start off with the winners. Look at Ja Morant,
Your
30
boy.
points, plus 6 on the floor. He did have 5 turnovers. We're not gonna ignore that. You gotta improve on that. But he made it up with 3 steals, so that cancels out to 2 turnovers. 9 assists, 13 rebounds, 11 of 17 from free throw, 1 of 4 from the 3, 9 of 22 from field goal. We got Desmond Bane, 25 points, plus 3 on the floor. 2 steals, 3 blocks, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, 4 of 4 from free throw, 3 of 8 from the 3, 9 of 20 from field goal. Brandon Clarke, 21 points, 1 block, 3 assists, 15 rebounds, 3 of 7 from free throw, 9 of 14 from field goal percentage.
That man has been balling out coming out of Memphis's bench this whole series.
And that's something I want to point out. That's something that it has to be pointed out with this Memphis Grizzlies team. Like,
they're a complete team.
If Clark's second unit didn't have Brandon Clarke, exactly. Like, I don't know how well of overall team they would be. Because Brandon Clarke coming off the bench, doing these things. Same thing with Tyler Hero for the Heat. Like, when you have a guy, a Manu, coming off the bench, it's a different ball game. They'll sustain you throughout the game too when you sit the stars out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fortunately for Memphis, though, they don't have to worry too much about that because they do have very young stars. And yeah. Now let's go over to the unfortunate losers. As you guys can see, Karl Anthony Towns showed the fuck up with 28 points, minus 3 on the floor, 7 turnovers, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 1 assist, 12 rebounds, 9 of 9 from free throw, 5 of 7 from 3, 7 of 15 from field goal. Anthony Edwards once again showing that he is the second star undisputably on this team with 22 points, minus 2 on the floor, 1 rebound, and 3 of 4 from free throw, 3 of 9 from the 3, 8 of 20 in field goal. And D'Lo, man, I don't know. I think we're seeing the transition of him going from like a go-to score or like one of the go-to scorers to the facilitator, which I said is, I think, the best role for him. As you see, he only put up 12 points, minus 3 on the floor, and he did have 4 turnovers. However, he did provide 8 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 of 3 from free throw, 2 of 4 from the 3, 4 of 10 from field goal. And excuse me, Patrick Beverley, 9 points, plus 1 on the floor, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He did have 5 turnovers, but he did 2 or 3 from free throw, 1 of 3 from 3-point, and 3 of 6 from field goal. Had to point out Patrick Beverley because once again, just how I said with Brandon Clarke for Memphis, without Patrick Beverley, I'm not so sure how well this Timberwolves team would be doing. He really is like an underlying,
well, of course, man.
X factor for the squad.
Well, not necessarily, man. Patrick Beverley, well, yeah, it is the same thing, pretty much what I'm saying. Patrick Beverley's their OG, man. They're vet to go to that has been through his battles.
Yeah.
And somebody to calm them down.
But he's your OG that can actually also help on the floor. You know what I mean? Because UD is an OG, but we're not gonna rely on OG on UD to do stuff on the floor for us. You know what I mean?
Shit, well, he played like 15 games this year. I mean, shit, at 40? I want to see you at 40. He played 15 NBA games.
He's 40?
Yeah, it's 20? Shit. If you don't get that joke, then... Well,
so,
whatever.
Any extra takeaways from you for this game?
I like to say this is probably...
I think this can go to a game 7.
This is one of the most exciting series.
Yes.
In
if
round
you told
one.
me 2-3 years ago that a Memphis versus Minnesota playoff series would be probably my favorite one in the first round, I would laugh in your face and be like, get the fuck out of here. Like no.
All the disappointment that we've had, like of the sweep of the Nets, like it's been more than made up with this series going on in the West.
Yeah.
Like there's like back and forth. 2 young up-and-coming teams with their own respective stars in their end. And I'm like, bro, you think that, Minnesota was going to come away to steal the game. And, man, Memphis was like, nah, think again.
Yeah, crazy comebacks, down to the wire games. Like you said, 2 young stars, rising stars. It's like I said, I would have never guessed. The past decade for these 2 squads overall, like organizations, have been abysmal. Mm-hmm. And I think this is karma coming back, obviously, with the GMs doing their thing. And I think I don't want to say decade. That'd be a little risque, but I would say for the next 5 years, these two organizations are gonna be one. You know, the ones that are gonna be at the top, be talked about a lot, like without a doubt.
Oh, bro, just wait till all those
Barring injuries.
And just wait till all 100 of the first round picks for the OKC Thunder start kicking in. Oof.
Ooh.
Super team type shit going on.
But the way this game ended, I really think it's gonna go to Game 7. If Memphis destroyed them at home, or just deflated their at the end, because a game winner can go two ways. It can just be like, oh fuck, that just happened, in terms of like, oh okay, or it could be one of those dagger game winners where just like it just deflates the squad, the opposing team. This didn't feel like one of those deflate game winners. You know what I mean? It was dope, but I didn't feel like it crushed their soul. So close game to the wire, a game winner that didn't feel like a dagger to the heart. I think they're definitely gonna come out swinging in Game 6. I'm not so sure if they're gonna take it though. I'm not that confident, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take it and we get a Game 7. And a Game 7 between these two squads.
Be pretty damn good.
That'd be beautiful basketball.
The only last thing I'll sprinkle onto this is this series just reinforces the thinking that we had a couple years ago. Takeaways from the bubble. The NBA is more than... We don't have any KD. We don't have any LeBron in these playoffs. Yet, we're having this exciting product, right in our faces. It just gives me... The NBA is going to be more than all right without those two guys as we move on to the next era of the NBA.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. Guys,
that's my biggest takeaway from the bubble.
Absolutely.
And guys, we're going to do a build your franchise around Anthony Edwards versus John Morant. Sub for that video and comment who you would pick, because we are going to go in on that one.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments what you guys think. You think this is deflating, for Minnesota, this series over? You think let us know. You think it's gonna go 7, gonna go 6 games? Would like to hear it. Either way, appreciate all the love and the hate. You guys already know: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all podcast streaming platforms.
Ja
Mania. We'll catch you guys soon. For now,
take
later.
care.